What's up, guys? I'm Chad Barnes, and welcome to the channel. Here, it's all about real car talk, from simple fixes to smart driving tips and keeping your ride in top shape. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you watch all the way through. There's a lot of good stuff coming. Let's get
First of all, let's return to the long history of the heavy military trucks family, which started with the KrAZ-214 and KrAZ-260 trucks. KrAZ-214 and KrAZ-214 trucks and ended with the most powerful 9-ton KrAZ-260 trucks, to which we dedicate this article. The most intense period of the KrAZ work was the release of the 255th generation, about which we will still find time to tell. KrAZ-260 trucks, 1970-1979-1998. Built in 1970, the KrAZ-260A prototype had all the external and design features of the future production truck. 300 horsepower turbocharged V8 diesel engine, a metal cargo platform with a tent, a spotlight on the roof of the cab and a characteristic predatory appearance, with flat panels of cladding and fenders. The following truck 260am with a low-sided body became the predecessor of the serial long wheelbase version. Variants of serial KrAZ-260 family trucks in the mid-70s, the modernized version 260m passed state and military tests, but only in 1979 its modified version was put into commercial production under the KrAZ-260 brand. In 1981 it was adopted, and a year later the serial production of the truck was launched in a new shop. The main feature of the truck was a new 16-speed transmission with a middle-through axle and interaxle differential of the rear bogie. And other design elements and parameters were practically the same as the KrAZ-255. At the same time, the plant produced KrAZ-260V tractors with a permissible load on the hitch of 9.5 tons, which were used for towing heavy semi-trailers and guns. The KrAZ-260G extended truck with increased distance between front and middle axles from 4.6 to 5 meters was produced in small batches. The truck was used to carry large-size cargoes weighing up to 9.5 tons and to install military superstructures. Reinforced 10-ton version 260GM was adapted for towing heavy trailers. Military equipment of the KrAZ-260 family vehicles since the late 80s and up to the end of production in the 90s, the KrAZ-260 260J and 260V tractors were gradually introduced new types of engines with power up to 330 horsepower, modified transmissions, lights, and tires, simplified and more rigorous details of cladding. The main purpose of the KrAZ-260 was transportation of 20 to 24 personnel on folding benches in the body, as well as installation of all kinds of military equipment. To overcome shallow water obstacles, they were equipped with air intakes and exhaust pipes that went beyond the level of the cab roof. Over time, the main trailed artillery system for the flatbed tractor became a heavy gun Hyacinth, first presented in Moscow in 1985, at the parade in honor of the 40th anniversary of victory. The tractors were used to tow standard semi-trailer systems weighing up to 27.5 tons. The long wheelbase KrAZ trucks delivered to the Allied countries were equipped with military and engineering equipment, as well as installed their own low-profile bodies, roof racks and special light masking devices. Radio-technical means of communication and control. The set of radio equipment on the KrAZ-260 260G chassis was limited to the Gamma family of air defense radar systems, located on 3 vehicles with antenna-turning devices, control equipment, special equipment, and accessories. The tractors, coupled with special low-frame semi-trailer systems, were used for transportation of telescopic antennas of S-300 air defense missile systems, radar stations, low-altitude detectors, and radio equipment. Fuel service vehicles. The most widespread in this category was the standard multi-purpose tanker AC-10-260 for 10,000 liters of fuel with its own pump and manual control from a special console. On its base was produced a fuel tanker ATZ-9, 3 with a steel carrying tank and rear control cabin. Special tanker trucks with manual or mechanical pumps and tank trailers were used for storage, transportation, and distribution of rocket fuel components. Evacuation and engineering vehicles. In the 80s, the Department of Troop Vehicle Repair Equipment of the 21st Research Institute designed several new types of evacuation vehicles on the KrAZ-260 chassis, prototypes of which were assembled by the military plant No. 38. The first of them was a middle-class wheeled evacuation transporter KETS with flatbed body and rear lifting device for towing all kinds of vehicles. The MTPA-7 technical assistance vehicle was equipped with rear lifting and towing devices, rigging accessories, and tanks for fuel and oils. Simultaneously with them appeared a wheeled transporter tractor KTS with a telescopic hydraulic crane, 2 winches, and a rear lifting and towing device for transportation of damaged vehicles in a semi-submerged position. The set of engineering vehicles included a modernized drilling rig PBU-200M, field power station KP-10 and desalination station OPS-5 with an electric motor for pumping liquids and a new system of purification and disinfection of natural water by supplying it under pressure through semi-permeable membranes. Almost all insignificantly modernized troop types of automotive earth-moving vehicles were transferred to the KrAZ-260 trucks. These were mainly upgraded Army hydraulic cranes of the KS-3575-3576 family with payload capacity of 10 to 14 tons. The upgraded single-bucket Army excavator received the Index EOV-4422. Heavy pontoon bridge vehicles in the 80s. The engineering forces started to receive modernized mechanized units TMM3M3M1 on their KrAZ-260 chassis for bridge crossings and pontoon crossings using extended double-gauge blocks and modified spans, which allowed to lighten the whole structure, speed up the assembly process, expand the possibility of passing various vehicles and reduce the number of combat crews. In the 70s, the development of a more advanced special 120-ton pontoon bridge park PPS-84 or more, with 2-row movement, mounted on the KrAZ-260G chassis, which could pass almost any armored vehicles, including multi-axle missile systems TOPAL, was carried out. The main elements of the PPS-84 fleet were larger and stronger folding river links consisting of 4 articulated all-metal pontoons, hydraulic devices for mating with the shoreline, anchors, and wave deflector shields. The fleet was adopted for service in 1986, but the hard times of the late 80s and early 90s prevented its serial production. For towing ferries, reconnaissance, guarding bridges, and holding them in strong currents, it was planned to use powerful towing and motor catamarans BMK-460 with 2 230 horsepower diesel engines and 2 propellers. Afloat, the boats reached a speed of 16 km per hour. In the 80s, on the basis of bridge crossings PPS-80 for the ferry fleet PP-91 was developed, for the first time equipped with self-propelled links, which did not differ from usual river constructions. The 5 compartments of such a link accommodated a 235 horsepower diesel engine, transmission, fuel tank, water jet propulsion system, with a propeller and a removable deckhouse with a control panel. In 1992, the fleet was adopted by the Russian Army, but it was assembled only in single samples. Special bridge building machines with the advent of heavy KrAZ trucks, they were used to install slightly modernized pile driving rigs for driving reinforced concrete piles of different cross-sections into the foundations of troop road bridge piers. The USBT machine with a 15-meter pile driving tower was used for driving piles with a diameter of 30 centimeters in both vertical and inclined positions, equipped with the same diesel hammers, as well as a trailer for transportation of auxiliary equipment and replacement equipment. The upgraded USM2 system differed by the crane lifting capacity increase up to 2.5 tons and the ability to lower the pile driving unit to the depth of 1.8 meters, which allowed to build bridges on pile frame supports across rivers, canals, and ravines. Its productivity in construction from prefabricated blocks increased up to 15 linear meters per hour. Rocket armament on KrAZ-260-260V trucks in the 80s. The Air Defense Forces inherited from KrAZ-255V1 trucks the KrAZ-260V tractors, with special 2-axle low-frame semi-trailers MAZ-938B, which made up the Transport Installation or Transport Loading Vehicles, TZM, of various surface-to-air missile systems. The crane equipment of modernized TZMs for loading and reloading of missiles or reloading of missile containers to self-propelled launches of S-300 surface-to-air missile systems was mounted on single vehicles of the 260th series with 4 hydraulic supports. KrAZ-260V tractors played the main role in transportation support of the USSR Air Defense Forces after the S-300 surface-to-air missile systems were adopted into service. Their main task was to tow simple and inexpensive semi-trailer systems with 4 guided missiles in containers. By the mid-1990s, the use of KrAZ trucks in the Russian armed forces was recognized as inexpedient. The title photo shows the main achievement of the Kremenchug automobile plant, an early KrAZ-260 Army truck with a tarpaulin tent, with observation windows. In conclusion, the KrAZ-260 stands as a testament to Soviet engineering, embodying the era's ambition for strength and durability in military logistics. With its impressive capabilities, this heavy army truck played a crucial role in transporting troops and equipment across challenging terrains. However, as technology continues to evolve, the KrAZ-260's reign as a heavyweight champion is drawing to a close. Newer, more advanced vehicles are set to take its place, marking the end of an era for this iconic truck. As we reflect on its legacy, we appreciate the KrAZ-260 not just as a machine, but as a symbol of resilience and innovation in military history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of the last Soviet heavy army trucks.